Hi everybody, my name's Cat, and I am the Digital Education and Outreach Coordinator at the Museum of Antiquities at the University of Saskatchewan. Today, I would like to showcase one of the museum's newest acquisitions, a 3D printed scale reproduction of one of the ancient world's most beautiful and most unique sculptures, the Sleeping Hermaphrodite. Ancient Romans were heavily influenced by ancient Greek myths and took a lot of inspiration from ancient Greek artworks. The Sleeping Hermaphrodite is a perfect example of this, as this statue is actually a Roman copy of a Greek original. This statue is from the Roman imperial period, circa 100 CE to around 150 CE, or the 2nd century CE. Hellenistic bronze sculptures of the Sleeping Hermaphrodite, sometimes attributed to a sculptor named Polycles, have not survived, but the figure is known from the numerous marble copies dated to the Roman era. Images of Hermaphrodite are documented starting at least in the 4th century BCE and were a favorite topic in artist workshops during the Hellenistic era. They are known in two main types: standing, either en synchromenos, with robes lifted to reveal male sex organs, or reclining nude. Our Sleeping Hermaphrodite replica was made by artists at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. The Louvre Hermaphrodite was unearthed in 1618 during the construction of the Church of Santa Maria del Vittoria near the Baths of Diocletian in Rome. It was gifted to Cardinal Scipione Borghese and became part of the Borghese collection. Portions of the statue were restored in 1620 by David Laric, and the mattress and the pillow upon which Hermaphrodite sleeps is an addition, created in 1620 by renowned Italian architect and sculptor Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Renaissance artists were enamored with ancient artwork, which greatly influenced the statuary of the time. The Sleeping Hermaphrodite is among the most famous ancient sculptures, as it surprises the viewer with a subject that appears to be a young woman, but in fact has both male and female anatomy. The figure has similarities to Aphrodite or Venus, very demure, very mindful, very beautiful, which makes sense as myths identify Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, as being the mother of Hermaphroditus or Hermaphrodite. The Hermaphrodite figure was not an anomaly in ancient culture, and there are references to Hermaphrodite which date as far back as the 4th century BCE. In one version of the Hermaphrodite myth in Book 4 of Ovid's Metamorphoses, written between 43 BCE and 17 CE, Hermaphroditus, the son of Aphrodite and Hermes, was an androgynous youth of great beauty. One day, he was enjoying a beautiful afternoon, soaking up the warmth of the Mediterranean sun. He eventually decided to go for a swim in a nearby pool to cool off. While he was there, a nymph named Selmachus saw him swimming. As soon as she laid eyes on him, she was overcome with desire, falling madly in love with Hermaphroditus. She approached him and confessed her love. But he was not interested and shooed her away, telling her to stay away from him. She left, but she couldn't stop thinking about Hermaphroditus. She was consumed by thoughts of him, his beauty, and her desire for him. And although Hermaphroditus had told Selmachus to stay away from him, Selmachus couldn't resist. She was consumed with thoughts of him, and she went back to the pond to watch him from afar. But when Hermaphroditus broke the surface of the water, she was overcome with lust, and she jumped into the pool, grabbing onto Hermaphroditus and kissing him forcibly. Hermaphroditus struggled to get away, and as he struggled, Selmachus tightened her grip, begging and praying to the gods that they would never let them be apart again. The gods granted her wish, but not in the way she imagined. Gods took her words literally, fusing Selmachus and Hermaphroditus together into one being, the Hermaphrodite. Another version of the myth was found inscribed on the remains of a wall in the city of Halicarnassus, near the actual spring of Selmachus. This version of the myth, it tells the story of how Hermaphroditus' mother, Aphrodite, chose the nymph Selmachus to care for an infant Hermaphroditus. The implication is that Hermaphroditus was born intersex with both male and female characteristics. The inscription also states that Hermaphroditus was, quote, he who discovered marriage and was the first to bind the marriage bed in law, end quote. Thus, Hermaphrodite is an important deity who, through this fusion of masculine and feminine, is credited with inventing marriage. Interestingly, in some Greek creation myths, intersex or genderless beings like Hermaphroditus were often at the forefront of all creation. For example, in one Greek creation myth by Hesiod, the universe and the gods emerged from chaos, a formless void and a genderless being. A speech by Aristophanes in Plato's Symposium explores the creation of human beings and explains the power of eros, the Greek word for desire. Aristophanes stated that humans were originally double-bodied spherical beings with 3 sexes: male-male, female-female, and male-female. There were 3 sexes because the male-male humans were originally the offspring of the sun, the female-female humans were of the earth, and the male-female humans were of the moon, because the moon had a share of both the sun and the earth. These spherical humans had great strength and became overconfident and arrogant. They began to conspire against the gods and planned to take over the heavens. But the gods became aware of their plans, and as punishment for their hubris, each spherical human was split in half. Ever since spherical humans were split apart, humans have been left longing and searching for their other half. And this, according to Aristophanes, is the reason for love and desire. This myth explains both homosexual and heterosexual desire as well. For Aristophanes, heterosexual desire can be explained because of the splitting of the androgen, the male-female spherical human. As for women who desire women and men who desire men, they descend from the 2 other sexes, the female-female and the male-male spherical humans. These myths show that ancient people tried to explain the human condition through myths and through storytelling. It also shows that Aristophanes tried to reckon with the diversity in human beings, and that diverse gender and sexual identities existed in ancient times, and that these diverse gender and sexual identities were being represented in works of mythology as well as works of philosophy. Thus, art becomes a very powerful vehicle to communicate ideas about human beings, attitudes, and the cultural norms of the time. And it also shows that diverse genders have existed for thousands of years. We have the artwork and the writing that proves it. Want to see the Sleeping Hermaphrodite in person? You're in luck, you can. Stop by the Museum of Antiquities Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or on Saturdays from noon to 4 p.m. We are also on Facebook at Museum of Antiquities, University of Saskatchewan, and Instagram at M of Antiquities. You can give us a like and a follow there so you can keep up with all of the new acquisitions we get, new programming, and fun events that we have going on in the museum. Thanks for watching and have a great day.